AITA for kicking a child out of my home? I-34F was at the park with my 13-year-old son and friends, and we noticed a girl around his age sat on a bench. She stood out because it was too late to be alone. Still in uniform on a school night, and it was freezing. I approached her, asked if she was okay, and she said yes. I didn't want to leave her alone, so I sent my son to talk to her, guessing it was easier to talk to someone her age, but long story short, she's a runaway. As a teacher, I'm aware of safeguarding procedures, so made the relevant phone calls, and as I have the necessary credentials, police cleared me to take her home for the night. Turns out her case is familiar to the police, and she's also run away from several homes they've placed her in. We spoke a lot, and she confided in me the details she didn't share with my son. I won't elaborate, but she's been through it. I felt sorry for her, and after a lot of paperwork, I was granted temporary guardianship, which the courts were thrilled with because she hasn't stayed anywhere else more than a week. She was with me for around 4 months before the incident occurred. She got home very late on a school night, and I told her this was unacceptable. She threw a tantrum and said I'm not her parent. She'll just leave. I told her although I can't force her to stay while she's under my roof, the household rules have to be followed. Not just because I said so, but for her safety. Bear in mind we're dealing with a child who came home with me after meeting me in a park. So not the most streetwise. OBVs didn't say that. She shouted and argued back, but I didn't respond. I'm guessing she wanted a reaction out of me because with her next threat, she got it. She threatened to tell authorities my son had been inappropriate with her. I asked her if there was any truth to it, to which she said no. Apologized and said she was just angry. I'll be honest. After that I didn't hesitate to go to my room, call the police, and have her removed from my custody. As I called, she overheard and started crying, apologizing and begging me not to send her back. NGLIT was hard to watch her get put in the police car while crying out to me. Her caseworker has since suggested we enter mediation and try again with the temporary guardianship, as this is the most stable she's been in terms of school attendance, grades, etc. As much as I'd like to help her, I can't risk my son for her sake. My friends have said it was cruel to give up after one mistake, given she's been doing so well. And I'm in awe for tossing her out. AITAH? This is beyond Reddit's pay grade. Agree. Beyond Reddit's pay grade. However, if the safety and future of my child was threatened, no matter how much compassion I had for the other person, I would prioritize my family. Nah, she is still a child and has had a rough go, and you are trying to protect your family. If you feel you can work through this and the police know the threat that was made so it's on record, then it sounds like she has been doing really well under your care. I hope you figure it out. NTA, but if your friends say you are cruel, they are welcome to take the child in and deal with her. NTA. I remember as a child a neighbor took in 2 foster kids. One of the girls had gone through it and made a similar threat against the foster father. The foster mother immediately called the social worker and had her removed from the house. It is terrible for all involved. You feel so sorry for the child who has gone through it. But you have to protect your family. The great thing about having so many caring friends is that they can now take her in. NTA. I have no doubt this girl has been through some awful trauma. But you have to protect your own child. NTA. You have to protect your family. Yes, it was just one mistake. Yet if she had doubled down and continued to lie about your son being inappropriate with her, the consequences of her prevarication could have been dire for everyone, especially your child. It sucks that you had to kick her out, but your priority is your family. You can't risk your family. NTA, she was willing to ruin your son's life over a simple curfew. NTA, you potentially putting your son's freedom at risk. Moreover, if she was willing to make that accusation against your son, she will do it against you. Hopefully she gets another chance, and this time she will learn from her mistake. NTA, no, absolutely not. She threatened to accuse you and your son with a serious crime. It would be completely irresponsible to continue to expose your son to this threat. I'm all for believing people when they say they've been assaulted, but that is not something to be messed with. You did your best with this girl, but she needs more help than can be provided in your home. This is a rough situation. Sorry to hear about it. I'd say you're NTA. She threatened you with something that could ruin your child's life and even potentially get you in trouble because she disobeyed a rule you set for her. Even if she apologized for it, it does not mean she has learned from her actions. She might be different on medications and therapy might help her as well. But I would personally never take her in my home again after that stunt. NTA. That's a threat she's prepared to use against your kid. The fact it came out of her mouth so fast is alarming. If your friend wants to take her in, let her. You did what was right. NTA. Under no conditions allow her back. She can easily lie and ruin your son's life, plus cost you expensive legal bills to defend him. Her caseworker is trying to do what's best for the girl. That's the job, not what's best for your family. Do not be guilted and put your son at risk. Protect your son. Don't take her back. A nightmare could happen. NTA. You can't risk it. I was floored when I babysat for a new family as teen. I asked the children to go to bed and the older threatened me with the same flush. I told the parents what she said. They apologized and asked if I would babysit again. Nope. NTA. That one mistake was her staying out late. Threatening to lie on your son is not a mistake, and just like you said, could have put your son in major trouble. I would tread lightly here too. NTA. She told you she's willing to lie about your son to get her away. Don't allow her back in your house. Yes, she needs help, but your son need to come first. NTA. She could destroy your lives with that kind of accusation against your son. She sounds like a very troubled kid, and that's incredibly sad. But your family comes first. My heart aches for the girl. But you have to protect your son. Imagine if she hadn't said anything and just went through with her threat. Good on you for making sure with her there was no truth to it, because I know that had to have been hard. No, you are not the word. We had a friend who was a good, caring foster parent get accused of making advances to the 16-year-old foster child. He and his wife lost their foster licenses and to an extent their reputations before she admitted she had made the whole thing up because she was angry. If they lie once, having had very little proper guidance or input, they will do it again when it suits them. We used to house women in crisis pregnancies who wanted to keep their babies. One was a witness to a murder, and we worked with our local police and the pregnancy help center. I had had no experience up to that time with meth users. But one day I came home and her dealers were there. I had 2 young sons and did not want illegal drugs in my home. Around small children, we had to have the police come and remove her to who knows where. And the lies were flowing as she was being removed. They must have found another place for her as she was in the witness program. But it was awful to kick out a pregnant woman. NTA. You tried. But it can't be at the expense of your son, who's also just a child. Her threat is life-ruining. There's no guarantee she won't get mad again and then say it was your husband or you. And you know that would end your livelihood. She went nuclear.
If you enjoyed this video, Please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.